problems with the ice just in front of the Minnetonka bench, and it gives me an opportunity to ask you, if you had 30 seconds to talk to your team as they headed into overtime, what would be the basic message? Do you try to employ any different strategy at this time, or do you just remind them of old general rules that they should be abiding by?
Well, there's two things I do. First, I tell each of the players to visualize them putting the puck in the net. So they're thinking of scoring, thinking of shooting the puck. In other words, anytime you get a shot, you take it. And the second thing is stay balanced. Don't gamble. Don't get caught in any position where it's going to put your team in an outnumbered situation, a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-2, because you've got plenty of time to win. You can play all night long as the other team doesn't score. And you get the opportunity to score, you've got to take that shot and put it away. So that's the most important thing. Shoot the puck if you've got the chance. Don't look for the pretty play. And secondly, don't gamble. Stay balanced and make sure that any opportunity you got to move that puck ahead, you get it ahead. Get it out of your zone as quickly as you can. You could see the saves in the third period. Moran with 7, Rail with 5, and that's about the closest of the period.
As we look at the goaltenders, do you say anything to the goaltenders, or are they the type of guys you just leave alone at this point?
Well, you just wish them luck and leave them alone. Goaltenders, you don't want to in any way rattle them, and you want to give them all the confidence in the world. They got you here. You wouldn't have been here without the goaltender making some key save along the way, and both these goaltenders are ready for it.
Those are the men on the spot right now as we start 8 minutes of sudden death overtime. 3-3 Jefferson and Minnetonka. And immediately the Jaguars clear it down, and that's Kurt Svensson, number 15, after it. He could be the goal scorer. He's got that ability and has a goal already tonight. Svensson with Finnerty and Eriksson, but Jim Wall, Schottler, and Urban, who has the puck now, are equally capable. Here's Urban moving in. Urban's shot is blocked, and Svensson takes over and just backhands it out to center. Jim Wilharm has logged a great deal of ice time tonight. He gets it to Urban over the line. Here's Walsh losing it off his stick as he tried to sneak a peek at goaltender Moran. Schottler goes down behind the goal. It's cleared around the boards by Ian up to Eriksson. He tries to send away Pat Beatty, who is dumped in the center ice zone. Both teams make line changes. Tony Schmidt just fanned on his shot as he tried to knock it in, and here comes Beatty. Beatty checked by Dave Taylor. Holmner is over there. He goes down. Puck comes loose to Mike Brandt. Brandt against the boards, and Dave Taylor takes over. Minnetonka now clearing it down ice as Jim Wilhelm shoots the puck in and heads to the bench. 6:44 left in this first overtime period, and here's Dave Taylor working in, can't get a shot away, and it's cleared to the line and out. And back comes Rendall. He is checked by Schmidt. Following up on the play, though, is Lavin. Lavin works his way in, and he's knocked down by John Albert, and wisely, Dale Rail will hang on. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back. Said it might be one of the third lines. Well, the third lines are now out on the ice for this important face-off to the right of Minnetonka goaltender Dale Rail. Hannes on the draw against Lavin. It comes back to Olsen. His shot off a leg to the corner. Now Olsen, the backhander, and it is blocked in front and held for another face-off wisely by defenseman Dave Jecka.
Well, each club knowing they have to go with 3 lines, you don't know how long overtime's going to go, so they're going to continue to use all 3 lines as they have all night long, because this could go on for a long time.
They get the draw again. Olsen's shot goes wide. John Albert in behind the net, flips it over to Tim Hannes. That's the freshman out, and he hasn't experienced this kind of pressure before, I'm sure. Kept in at the line by Carlson, shot behind the net. They battle away for it there. Gingler's a big kid in forechecking number 9. Olsen also forechecking. And right now Minnetonka wanted a whistle, but they do dig it free and come out of their zone and just flip it to center ice. Right now Jefferson are the aggressors as Jecka goes back to get it, and the Jaguars make a line change. Jecka almost lost it in his own zone as he was bringing it out, but they do clear it to center. That's Mike Finnerty, who Lunani has pinpointed as perhaps a potential hero here tonight. Now Guillen fires it in right on goal, and Rail steers it to John Albert. Forechecking by Eriksson, but Albert does a good job and works his way out. Over the line, and now he'll clear it down into the Jefferson zone. In first, there's a pass in front for Urban, and it was just off his stick. Now Finnerty back to Svensson. They come 3-on-3, but Walsh again doing an excellent defensive job. And you can't downplay that too much because he's doing a good job. Now here's a loose puck by the net as Rail thought he had it, and it was knocked away from him, and a close call there. And was that Finnerty?
Well, a good chance for Jefferson right there. But Rail just had that puck cleared as Finnerty was right there in the goal mouth, waiting to put it away.
Wilhelm goes down but maintains possession. 4:40 left in this first sudden death overtime period. As they try and feed it to Schottler, but here comes Jefferson. Down the ice comes Eggleston. His shot is off the glass. Mike Brandt failed to get control of the puck. Walsh's pass for Schottler was just too far. Now Schottler clears it to the blue line. And the Jefferson Jaguars start back. This is Pat Beattie. Beattie centers it in front. Rendall couldn't get control, and Dale Rail hangs on. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back. Although it looks like Jefferson is the aggressor so far in this overtime. They've done a good job so far, but
well, they have been, but they haven't got anything on the board, and that's the most important thing.
Exactly. Puck in the corner. Todd Olson there for checking. Holmner goes down, and now we've got the third line of Jefferson up against the second of Minnetonka, which is an unusual match tonight because they have been matching pretty well even right through the game.
Well, they certainly have, and each coach undoubtedly having a reason for doing that. You would think it's going to create a mismatch somewhere along the line, but you've got to have a great deal of confidence in all your players. When you get this far, you know you've got a good, solid team, and you feel that they can play against anyone.
From the face-off, it's cleared to an open wing. In after it first is Laban. He's taken to the boards, and Renard sends it on the right wing for Taylor. He was beaten to the puck, and it's flipped up over the glass and out of play. 3:43 left in the first sudden death overtime period.
Well, one thing Tom Satterdahl did there, he didn't mind putting his third line on because the puck was in the offensive zone. He felt he could maybe get an opportunity. They could put a little pressure on him. Once it come out of the zone, he comes right back to his leading scoring line, Svensson's line, because you've got to think that if anybody's going to get a goal, usually it should be your top scoring line.
Walsh against Svensson on the face-off. Now Urban slides it through here. Schottler backhand, and Moran makes the stop, and he'll hang on as Minnetonka gets their best chance of the overtime.
Well, Steve Schottler forced to his backhand, wisely took the shot anyway. If you haven't anything to do with it, put it on the net. You never know when it's going to go in the net. He got a good backhand shot away, forcing Moran to make the save.
Like both teams are playing with remarkable and admirable cool for this important stage of the game. Here comes Finnerty over the line. He lost his balance, and back comes Minnetonka. Jimmy Walsh moving to the line, but he put himself offside. Check that. That was Schottler who was offside. Walsh following up on the play. 3:22 left, and a face-off outside the Jefferson line.
And now you notice the coaches are changing their lines much more quickly. It's been a long game. It's been a game that each club has had to play with a great deal of intensity, and you know they're going to get tired. You want to make sure you've got fresh players on the ice at all times. You get down around 30 seconds right now, and then you change them.
Renard, Holmner, and Dave Taylor against Brock Rendall, Pat Beattie, and Mike Brandt. And one mistake here means the difference between a semifinal berth and not winning the state championship, as the puck is backhanded up over the glass and out of play. The winner will meet the winner of tonight's second game, Bemidji and Burnsville, and believe it or not, most people think that will be the best of the opening 4 games. I don't know how they could get much better than the last two. And you have to give Anoka some attention after winning their game as big as they did in the opener. Pat Beattie knocks it down into the Minnetonka zone. Comes around the boards. Taylor tried to stop it there. He's checked by Beattie. Rendall in the corner, centering it out front, and it went past Beattie, and Minnetonka now will get it outside the line into the center ice area. Beattie turns, fires it back in wide of Rail, and there's another line change for Jefferson. Down to 2:40 left in this overtime period. Here comes Renard over the line. The shot right in on Moran, and the rebound is cleared to the line. Kept in. There's a shot, just rolled wide. Tony Schmidt didn't have much on it, but it went by everybody just wide of the open side. Now back comes Guillen. Guillen just pokes it into the zone. John Albert turns and fires it off the boards out to center. We've got a 2-on-2 situation, but Holmner fell on the play. And now it's backhanded by Gingler down into the Minnetonka zone. Nice spin move by John Albert there. He moves to center, shoots it in off the glove of Moran. Working into the corner, centered out front. Hannes tried to bang away at it, but Moran hangs on for the faceoff.
Hannes went right for that net. He was looking for that pass out. He almost got it as Jeff Chris centered that puck. It bounced right up in the air, but Moran, standing right up, was able to glove that puck in the air. As we see Steve Eggleston going off right now, he went into the boards quite heavily. He was coming back real quick on Jeff Chris to make sure he couldn't get complete control and have a look when he was sending that pass.
Eggleston finished the game against Kennedy with a bad knee last week, and Tom Satterdahl credited him with showing a lot of heart to finish that game even though he was hurting. Here's Finnerty almost getting loose, but it was stopped up just inside the line. And now play whistled down with 1:40 left in this overtime period.
Well, we're looking at Captain Jim Walsh out there facing off against Kurt Svensson, doing quite a job defensively. As you had pointed out earlier, Chris, he had to come back and make 2 great defensive plays as well.
Here's Walsh, 3-on-2 to Urban. He is checked nicely by Carlson, and back the other way comes Svensson. Now look at Walsh. He's back there again and picks up the puck and backhands it to center. Scoring champions don't usually do that. Here's Jeff Urban, 1-on-1. Urban with a great move in, and Moran makes the stop. Oh, what a move by Urban, and that would have been some way to finish it.
What a play. Moran very wisely coming out to cut down the angle and jump on Urban before he had time to look. Urban still almost got it through him, but a great save by Moran.
The Jaguars catch their breath, and now we have a face-off coming down deep in the Minnetonka zone with 1:05 left in the first sudden death overtime period.
What a play by the dangerous Jeff Urban as we look at a tired John Albert going off, and he has played a very strong game tonight. Watch Urban on this play. He fakes the defenseman out with a good inside move, and he steps through. He gets control of the puck, but he didn't have enough time. Moran very wisely was out about 5 feet in front of the crease and really gave Urban no time to put it away.
He stays back in his crease, and that would have given that extra split second for Urban to make another move. Under a minute to play in this first overtime period. Play in the Jefferson zone. That's Dave Taylor after it. Taylor keeps it in. Here's a shot from Renard, just going wide. It's up on the meshing, and they whistle play down with 45 seconds to go.
Well, you'd think that they'd be getting tired and really not coming back as well as they have been, but each team not allowing the other team to get a man loose in an outnumbered situation, working hard to come back defensively. As you see Pat Beattie there bent over trying to catch his breath. Both squads very intense throughout the whole evening. A lot of good opportunities. That man's seen a lot of action tonight. Jim Wilharm playing a great deal of hockey, and strong hockey for Minnetonka. You can expect Dave Taylor to try and get that drawback right now, and maybe Wilharm could get a good shot away.
Greg Harrison parked at the top of the crease, but the defensive team wins the faceoff. Good job by Mike Brandt there. And up with the puck is Mike Mulligan. Mulligan drops it behind the goal to Carlson, up around the boards to Brandt. Brandt gets it into the middle for Beattie, and they nicely get it out to center. This could be a break for Rendall. Rendall dropped it back, and nobody was with him. And Minnetonka was able to dodge a dangerous chance there. Brandt beating ahead for Rendall, who I think is just plain tired out at this point.
Yeah, he was tired. That's why he just quit skating. He didn't realize he was all alone. He might have been able to get in for a shot. Been out there for quite a while. He was probably good.
Puck cleared down again into Minnetonka territory, and Albert will try and set it up, but there's Svensson checking along with Erickson. Watch this line. They center it in front. Finnerty's shot is blocked in front. So that was almost a mistake that cost Minnetonka. Now here comes Urban once again. Good burst of speed. Swooping in the shot. And a save by Moran. Walsh on the rebound. His backhand was blocked. Jimmy Walsh still with it. Walsh coming out in front. His backhand rolls wide. Schottler, this line's had great pressure. Schottler, the shot. And Moran again makes the stop, and the Jaguars clear the rebound.
The Jaguars with that line of Walsh, Urban, and Schottler again dominating play and having a couple of good chances, but Moran holding his ground was able to keep that puck out. Jimmy Walsh is just having a superb game.
Urban backhands it into the center ice area. Rick Guillen gave it away, and here comes Urban. Urban with Walsh again. Urban on that left wing was checked by Guillen on a good defensive play. Here it is right in front. Schottler. Urban rebound. Open net, and he couldn't get control. Wow. Urban still after it, tried to center it, and finally Eggleston gets it out to center, and John Erickson at the Minnetonka bench is probably wondering how that stayed out.
Jeff Urban has just been dominating every shift out there. It's unbelievable that he hasn't got a goal yet. He continues to drive for the net, either getting a scoring opportunity or producing one, but that puck just won't go in for them.
He's so big and strong, 6'2", 185. He's gone to the bench now, though, and Renard with less than a minute to go in the second overtime period. There's a shot, and Moran holds on, and he has been the man of the hour for the Jaguars. 56 seconds left in the second overtime period.
I think at the end of this period, when you see the shots, you're going to see a great deal of disparity between the saves Moran's made and Rail's made. Rail had to make some outstanding saves, but not nearly as many as Tom Moran. The Minnetonka skippers have been just scintillating all period long, continuing to put pressure on Jefferson, driving for the net, making sure that they get a scoring opportunity. If they don't, they're creating a lot of havoc around the net, so Jefferson's not able to break out smoothly and even get any chances of their own. Only 56 seconds to go, and it certainly looks like we're going to go to another overtime. I didn't expect we'd get through this one. Not with the opportunities we still have time and time again.
I think they're going to remember this game for a while in state tournament history. This has been a great one. There's Carlson firing it in. 45 seconds to go now in the second overtime period. Puck cleared out to center. And now fired up into the stands. And we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone with 39 seconds to go.
Well, we talked about fatigue before this period started. We can imagine how those fellas are feeling right now. They're going on adrenaline. You know the enthusiasm is going to carry them, but they still have to be feeling the effects of a very hard-played game by both teams. A great deal of intensity throughout. A lot of body checking, good scoring opportunities, and each of these squads right now has to start feeling the effects, and you wish that it doesn't carry over for the winner tomorrow in tomorrow night's game, because it's almost unfair that after playing so well, they might have to pay a penalty for it.
Jefferson knocks it down into the Minnetonka zone. Dave Jecka back to get it. And now Jefferson does a good job of getting down quickly and tying up the Minnetonka defenseman and getting a face-off with 27 seconds left. And that was Mike Finnerty who did the good forechecking and forced that face-off. To the left of Dale Rail, the sophomore goaltender who has been almost as outstanding as Moran, and the only reason we give Moran the edge is that the Jefferson goaltenders had just that much more work, but they've both been outstanding. Svensson on the draw against Walsh, and it comes to Urban, who flips it out to center. Guillen knocks it to an open wing. After it there, Eggleston puts it right back into the zone. Rail stops it behind his goal. Jecka being forechecked by Svensson. It's centered out in front for Erickson. He couldn't get control. And with 8 seconds to go, here they come again. Urban over the line. This time he puts on the brakes. Jecka's shot, and it just went wide. And again, the net is off the moorings with 1 second to play. And Lou, we're headed for a third overtime.
We certainly are, and it looked like even though there were 8 seconds left in that period, that Minnetonka was going to be able to score a goal as Jeff Urban came down the outside, spun around and laid that pass out. There was a whole net to shoot at, and Jecka just missed the far corner as the net got knocked off its moorings. 1 second to go. You'd almost think that maybe Erickson would pull his goaltender right now and take a chance for the win, because Jefferson won't have a chance to get that puck all the way down and score a goal with 1 second.
From the face-off, it goes to the corner, and we've got another overtime period coming up. And, you know, Jeff Urban's a smart hockey player. You were a little worried about that inside move twice in a row, but he kept streaking down the left wing, and with under 10 seconds to go, he wisely gave Jefferson a different look, and it almost resulted in the game-winning goal.
He certainly did. He saw he had no room to cut to the inside because he had a back-checking centerman coming down, and so he just spun around, and he saw that defenseman Jecka trailing the play all alone. He just laid that pass to him, and Jecka just missed with a fine shot.
There you see, it's been 14 years since we had a triple overtime game in the tournament. And this has been a great one. This is Hockey 85, continuing coverage of the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. That's almost a whole second game these two teams have played, so you know they're tired, but they've just put on a tremendous performance.
Well, 36 minutes and 16 seconds without a goal is a great tribute to the goaltending and the overall checking of both teams. And you know, we did have one disallowed goal earlier in this game, and we're going to take a look at it right now. This could have been a difference. Watch as on the far side, we see the puck going into the net, but number 24, Dave Taylor, was in the crease on the left side. Watch Dave Taylor right here, 24. He's going to enter the crease area as the puck is being deflected in by Renard right there. He just went in the crease before the puck got there. And that, even though the referee down close to the net was signaling goal, the other referee away from the play had spotted Taylor's feet getting into the crease area before Renard deflected that goal, waved it off, and we're here with a 3-3 tie.
8 more minutes of sudden death overtime coming up. We mentioned that Edina triple overtime win over St. Paul Johnson 15 years ago. Well, in that same tournament, they had a 5-period overtime game. So this isn't the longest game in tournament history, but then again, it isn't over yet.
As we were saying earlier, we had 9 overtime games during that tournament. It seemed like we were at the rink for 3 consecutive days, 24 hours a day.
We'd get overtime for that too, wouldn't we? If it went 9 overtime games.
I know I do. Not really.
Reed Johnson just dropped his coffee or spilled his coffee downstairs.
Well, both teams out here hoping that they can end it, and they can end it with a win. But I'm sure they're saying if it's going to go on, we don't want to keep playing. Let whoever's going to win it quickly, because it could have a telling effect on them playing tomorrow. They are really putting out in this game tonight.
Here we go into the 3rd overtime period. From the faceoff, Minnetonka gets possession. It's Walsh over the line, offside. Schottler trapped inside the blue line. What a great opening for this tournament, though. An 11-6 game to start it off. You don't see many of those, and then 2 overtime games. It's just been a super opening day, and it's still continuing with Bemidji and Burnsville next. Back in 1955, they had 11 overtime periods. Is that possible?
That's right.
Wow.
I don't think at that time, though, the periods were as long, if I remember correctly. If you go down to actual minutes, you won't find that they would have played nearly as long as 11 overtimes indicate. You've got to think that those kids out there have got tremendous stamina. You look at number 15, Jeff Urban. After all the rushes he's made the length of the ice, and still to be out there and put out the way he does, you know that he's in excellent condition.
From the face-off, Minnetonka fires it in. Behind the goal, Moran leaves it, and it's cleared around the boards up to Svensson. Svensson against Walsh. That's been an interesting matchup tonight. 15 in the dark against the white number 7. Here they come back in over the line. Urban shot, the blocker pad saved by Moran. The puck comes to the side of the net, cleared away, but Minnetonka putting on the pressure. Holmner clears it across ice. There's the shot, and it was deflected wide of the goal. It looked like Wilharm's shot had a chance of going in.
Schottler was all alone in the crease area, and he just couldn't get the blade on.
Here's a pass in front. Moran with a great save off Urban. Again, Jeff Urban was robbed. They keep putting on the pressure, and it's still loose. This is Holmner out in front. His shot goes through the goal crease. They got Holmner out with Walsh.
What a save by Moran, and he did it standing up. He moved across quickly enough on his feet to make that save.
There's just been a couple of unbelievable saves by Moran. Minnetonka must be wondering if they'll ever score. Now Jefferson on the attack. Here's his shot. Eggleston had his shot blocked, and it out to center, and there's an injured Minnetonka player. That's Tom Renard going to the bench. He made a good block there defensively. Now the Jaguars trying to set up a scoring opportunity, but it's intercepted. And here comes Taylor passing on the right wing. Holmner over the line. Here comes a shot. Hannes is driving. Moran stood his ground. Actually, the shot was blocked in front, and Moran was knocked down. Back comes Beatty. He is stopped by Jekka. Good play, and Jekka will take over behind his goal. Jekka now taken down. Minnetonka loses possession of it. Here is a dangerous chance, and a backhander goes wide off the stick of Lavin. Number 14's dangerous. Now they pile up in behind the net and hold it for a faceoff. There's another break in the action. We'll be right back with the Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament. 2 seconds left in this third overtime period.
And Jeff Urban has got to be saying to himself, why did I get 4 goals in that other game? I just want one of them back now for all the chances I've had.
Both teams had convincing wins in their section finals. There's a shot just deflected wide of the goal. Gingler in behind the net. He beats it back to the point. Mulligan's shot is blocked. Did you see 2 Minnetonka players went down to block that one? As both teams giving their all. There's quite a hit in the center ice zone as Lavin was decked. And the skippers clear it to center. What a hit on Lavin. That was Dave Jecka who threw that. You don't want anything too demonstrative, though, because you don't want a penalty at this stage.
Well, fortunately, the officials are letting them play, and we've had some real good, solid hits, but they've been good and clean, and the officials aren't even looking at it. They're allowing them to play this game, and that's the way it should be.
There's an icing call against Minnetonka with 4:50 left, and we'll have a face-off deep in the skipper zone. There's a break in the action. Dale Rails, Svensson, and Walsh on the draw, and from the face-off, Walsh got it ahead to Urban, and now there's a race for it, but getting back first was Eggleston, and it's a good thing. Otherwise, it was a 3-on-1 break for Minnetonka. Puck cleared around the board. Schottler, nice pass up ahead to Walsh. 2-on-2. Urban is with them. Walsh's shot partially blocked by Mulligan. Behind the net is Urban. Urban comes up with it, centers it out in front, and back the other way comes Mike Finnerty and Jefferson. Finnerty, a good skater over the line. His shot in on Rail. Rail makes the stop, throws it aside to Wilharm. Wilharm around the boards. It's kept in by Finnerty, and now Minnetonka takes control and comes out. Here comes Steve Schottler back in over the line against Carlson. Schottler still with it. He's got Urban behind the net. Couldn't get him the puck. And the Jaguars come back out. There, a man over skates, and Holmner tries to feed it out in front, and it's knocked away. Now it's Carlson working his way out to center for Jefferson. Carlson over the line. Good defensive play there by Jecka. He has been a real tower in the overtime. And back comes Minnetonka, and they can't get by the Jaguar defense. Both teams playing very tight at this point. Holmner moves in over the line. Holmner now from the side out in front, can't get a shot away. That Holmner is dangerous, number 18, and now the net comes back off the moorings with 3:22 left in triple overtime. There's a break in the action. We'll be right back with more of the Minnesota State. Moran makes the stop. Holmner behind the net, looking to center, gives it back to Taylor behind the goal. They can't get it out in front, and Guillen wraps it around the boards to the line and out. John Albert had it there momentarily, and now Jefferson clears it to the Minnetonka line. But they can't get over it. Now 2 Minnetonka players fall, and they may be getting tired. Dave Taylor fighting against Mike Grant. There's 4 of them fighting for the loose puck, and you can tell that the fatigue is starting to set in. Here's a pass for Renard. Renard moving in. There's the shot, deflects wide, comes to the side of the net, and Moran hangs on.
Well, Minnetonka's continuing to go for the net, and that's what they have to do. They take the shot, and they charge after the rebound. They're creating a lot of opportunities around that net, but Tom Moran has just been unbelievable in the nets. He's made 2 saves tonight. They're just unconscious. It was unbelievable how he was able to get over and make those saves. Looks like we're going to have a timeout. Minnetonka will take a timeout, and that's a good move because there's 2:40 to go, and you might as well use your timeout. You've got it. They've got the opportunity to get a rest, and they've been putting on tremendous pressure, and it looked in that last shift that some of the defensemen were starting to feel the effects of it, and coach wants to give them a little extra rest right now. That Jefferson Hockey Club is battling as hard as they can, but right now it just seems like Minnetonka is continuing to put on pressure. It's unreal that they haven't got that winning goal. You know, oft times when that happens, Chris, all of a sudden the puck goes down the other end and it ends up in the net. Because you start thinking, what do we got to do to put the puck in the net?
Tom Moran certainly has been the man of the hour. Maybe we should pluralize that of hours.
He certainly has. And just the play of Urban and Schottler and Walsh alone has kept them busy all night long, because since we've hit the overtime, I don't think they've had a shift where they've spent more than 10 seconds in their own zone. They've been coming down the ice and putting on pressure, getting opportunities, driving for that net, getting shots, getting rebounds. But nothing they can do can beat that boy right there so far. Tom Moran has just been sensational. Can't say enough about his performance. He's got to feel so confident right now because of the saves he's made. You start believing that nothing's going to beat you.
Well, at this point, you just hope, for both teams' sake, it is a good goal, because hate to see one go in off a defenseman's skate at this point.
Well, Coach Erickson comes right back with his top line. That's why he called that timeout. This will give him an extra shift if he wants in the overtime.
They have really dominated the overtime, too. Wall, Schottler, and there's the shot right from the faceoff. Didn't get through. And Urban up front. John Albert on defense, lost the puck, and there was Erickson almost getting loose, but he was knocked down. But remember, Jefferson has their top line out too, and they can do some damage. Here's Urban skating to his wrong wing, clears it in off the boards. Back to get it Mulligan, but Urban comes up with it. Here's Urban trying to stuff it in. They bang away at it. Where is it? I think Moran has it in his pads. No.
Schottler had it all alone in the crease. Urban making a good move by the net. The referee lost sight of the puck. You'll see Urban going around the outside, and he makes a good move to come back in front to Schottler. He steals the puck right here, and he's going to come back in front on the short side, and Schottler right there had it deflected away with a little help from Carlson, and Moran right on the doorstep. Schottler standing right in front of Moran. Couldn't get enough of it to put it past Moran.
Carlson sure helped out there. Another face-off deep in the Jefferson zone. 2 minutes, 7 seconds left in this third sudden death overtime period, and they'll get another face-off almost immediately.
That move by Urban is a move that you see many of the Europeans make. The Swedes, the Finns, every time you see one of their fellas come over and they play, when they're going around the net, they always seem to stop on the short side and come back with a pass. They never seem to go right around the net with it.
From the face-off, they get it to the point. Jekka's wrist shot. It was deflected in front off the stick of Schottler, and Moran made another big save. You have to be so alert to make that stop.
That's right, because he had to look through a maze of legs, and that puck did get deflected on its way to the net. And he kept his composure. He kept looking at that puck, and he followed it right into his pads. You see the shot from Jekka at the point. It gets deflected right there by Schottler's stick. Got dropped down, but Moran made the save.
Here's Guillen flipping it out near the line, and now it comes out, and Jefferson trying to get something going. They've got the wave going here at the St. Paul Civic Center, but the real focus of interest is on the ice right now. Here comes Beatty, shot, and a good save there. Rail hasn't been tested much, but he made a fine save off Pat Beatty. Now long shot back into the Jefferson zone. And out come the Jaguars. It's Guillen clearing it in with 1 minute, 20 seconds left in this third overtime period. Both teams make changes as Jekka just fires it down the ice, and that's going to be icing against Minnetonka, but I think Jekka felt that he had to get off the ice, and he didn't have much choice.
Well, they've seen a great deal of ice time. You know, you're using basically 4 defensemen back there, and Jekka taking the body every occasion that he has. It's a very taxing thing on your body. You start to get tired, you start to get fatigued. Every time you take a body check, even though you might be taking a man out, you're feeling some of the effects, and it's starting to show a little in the overtime on a defensive defenseman like Dave Jekka is.
Lavin on the draw, Mike Gingler parked at the top of the crease from the faceoff. Lavin trying to center it out in front. He's taken to the boards by Taylor, and down he goes. We'll get another faceoff with 1:07 left. Lavin a little slow to get up, but once again, he was the youngster who suffered the concussion in last week's game, and it's a real credit that he is back out here tonight.
You were right when you said Dale Rail made a great leg save, because he hadn't been tested. When you're not, you've got to be sharp to make the save on Beatty, as he did with his skate.
From the face-off, Gingler gets it to the side of the goal, and again, Rail cautiously holds on. But what impressed me about Rail is during that timeout, he went back to his net and started to do some calisthenics to keep loose. And after all the time they played tonight, you'd think he would be loose, but he hadn't had much work in some time. But he's sharp, and he's keeping himself in the game.
That's something you worry about going into an overtime or going in for a long stretch when the goaltender hasn't had any work, just how he's going to react after getting fooled. He made that great save.
From the face-off. Here's Jefferson trying to stuff it in. Loose puck and rail goes down once again, as that was the very dangerous Mike Brandt who almost stuffed it in.
Well, we see the opportunity here when Brandt goes around the net. Now he's going to try his stuff. He's got his line mates out front. He's going to cut right around and try and get it on the short side here, hope for a rebound. But Rail makes the save, and he gets that rebound and falls on it and gets a whistle. And that allows Minnetonka to come back with their first line with 54 seconds to go.
Svensson against Walsh on the draw. It's pulled back near the goaltender. And Schottler has it. He lost it, though. That's Svensson. Backhands it in front. Rail had trouble with it, but once again holds on.
You've got to be very alert when Kurt Svensson's around. He's got such a long reach. Even though it looks like you're away from him, he can just reach out, pick your pocket, so to speak. He just lifts your stick, pulls that puck back, and he's got those quick hands. But he's able to get that puck back out in front. Very dangerous when you're stick handling that puck around the net when he's coming for checker.
We've got a late change. Brandt goes to the bench, and they reunite the line of Svensson, Eriksson, and Finnerty. And from the face-off, Svensson goes after it behind the net against Jekka. They battle away for it. We're getting a lot of whistles. Well, they do kick this one free, and now it's Urban. Urban up ahead to Schottler. He overskated it, but Urban chases after it. Urban seems to be the player less fatigued after 3 overtime periods. He's still skating out there very, very easily. Puck shot back in. Svensson after it, taken hard to the boards, and they tied up for a face-off. Svensson might be shaken up after that hit.
Well, a good solid check. They're not going to allow Svensson to walk away from the boards with that puck. Anytime he goes in, you can be assured that fellows like Jekka and Wilhelm, Albert, they're going to be using their body. Tony Smith, they're very strong. They took him out with some authority in there and got the face-off, but they don't want him handling the puck anywhere around that net area because he's very dangerous. We only have 19 seconds left in this overtime.
And it's the 3rd overtime period. Maybe they'll have to play the championship game on Sunday. From the face-off, they get a shot away, but it goes wide off the stick of Pat Beattie. Mike Brandt is into the corner. But out with it comes Minnetonka. They can't clear the zone, however. A second try. They still can't get it by Beattie. 5 seconds left. And finally, Urban backhands it down the ice. That should do it. 1 second remaining. And that is it for after all we've been through. From the face-off, Tom Carlson knocks it down into Minnetonka territory. It's cleared back by the Skippers into the center ice zone. And it's Mulligan now firing right back down into Minnetonka's end. Jim Wilhelm around the boards. Forechecking there is Eriksson. He couldn't corral the puck, and out come the Skippers to center. Urban was checked off the puck, but Wilhelm follows and clears it into the zone. But Wilhelm is shaken up, and we'll have a stoppage in play.
Well, they can't afford to lose him. He's an excellent player. Was outstanding last night. One of their 2 top defensemen.
With the score, Jefferson 3, Minnetonka 3. Well, we certainly hope this injury to Jim Wilhelm is not serious. He has been a tower on the Minnetonka defense and has been one of the outstanding players in a game which has featured many outstanding players.
Correct, Chris. I think he'll be all right. A couple of good officials we saw in the video there, Greg Shepard and Jerry Krieger. In fact, last night, it'd be interesting to see how many minutes they played without a penalty, these 2 teams. Late in the game, we're tired, you lose some discipline, but they didn't. It's a credit to their coaching staffs.
You know, Lou and I mentioned that last night, that the officials so far in the tournament have been outstanding. And we're not just saying that because in the sectionals last week, there were some murmurs that maybe the officials were letting too much happen, but I think they've done a great job.
We're going to see the Carson stand up here, I think, and get a shot at... Oh, he caught the pipe there, where the glass hits the where it begins. Tough break. Looks like it's a real shoulder injury.
Jimmy Wilhelm not making his way to the bench. It looks like they're going to take him to the dressing room, and that is not good news for John Eriksson's crew.
Certainly isn't. Stan Wilson, the experienced trainers with him, along with the referee. That's Greg Shepard here for Jimmy Wilhelm. Doesn't look very good. It's a problem with when the glass begins. You have an opening area where the penalty box is, and then you have to start the glass over. Just no way they can protect that with enough sponge, and it's just an obstruction that you're going to hit, and you got the bad angle on it.
All right, Wilhelm has been taken to the dressing room. We're ready to resume play. We played just 26 seconds in this fourth overtime period as Jeff Urban clears it in behind the net. Tom Moran in goal for Jefferson. Urban in forechecking, along with Steve Schottler and Jim Walsh. That's Walsh with the puck. He turned and fired, but it hit Svensson. And Svensson's out to center ice. He's cut off by Dave Jecka. And the puck bounces inside the line, but brought back out by Urban. His cross-ice pass failed to get through, but Urban gets it again and fires it into the zone. And now Jim Walsh heads for the bench. We should see some short line changes today as the puck is cleared out into the center ice zone. Jecka just got rid of it, and Mike Finnerty starts up. Here's Svensson trying to get over the line, but Jecka takes him out of the play. Now it's fed ahead to Urban. Nice pass by Urban into the center. Holmner back to Urban, deflects it towards the goal, and Moran knocked it away.
Jeff Urban was great last night, especially in the third period and the overtime.
He was the best player on the ice in the overtime, and he had a number of great scoring chances. Now it's Tom Renard forechecking, but Jefferson brings it out to center. It's fired back in, however, by Tony Schmidt. And Moran stops it behind the goal. Puck cleared around the glass. That is Mike Brandt against the boards, and they'll hold it for a face-off deep in Jefferson territory.
Both goaltenders do a wonderful job of coming behind, stopping the puck, setting up for the defenseman. Last night, it almost made me nervous because you get caught back there and they get a cheap goal. You feel badly for them, but it does help the defense.
The last four-period overtime game was back in 1953. St. Paul Johnson over St. Louis Park in a quarterfinal game, 2-1, and St. Paul Johnson went on to win the tournament that year. Here comes Pat Beattie. He has a goal in this two-day game, but he's checked there, and Frederick Holmner starts back. He's also a goal scorer. Up ahead to Renard. Renard on the backhand, and he just shot it wide. Comes around to Tony Schmidt at the point. Schmidt keeps it in. Holmner is there. Holmner is an exciting forward, and he's got plenty of moves as they battle against the boards. Comes loose, and it's cleared out to center ice. And this is Brock Rendall. Rendall, shot, scores! Rendall, and Jefferson wins.
Well, he just came down the right side and let it go between the legs of goalie Dave Rail. Just let it rip.
Dominate for so long, but you know, one shot can win going the other way, and that's what happened.
Brock Rendall takes a slap shot. Looks like it went right through the leg of David Rail, hit the inside of his leg and into the net. One thing in hockey, shot on net's never a bad play. It's proven here. Just a good hard slap shot to beat him.
Rendall's second goal of the game. His second in two days, you could say, too, but it's a big one for Jefferson as they go on, and they will meet Burnsville in the semifinal. And these are two great hockey teams, and this is one game where you'll be able to take something out of it even though you lost. You'll be able to say, I played in a 4-overtime game in the state championship, and Minnetonka should be proud of what they did here.
Well, Minnetonka gave 50 shots on net, so they had a heck of an effort. The big shot went in here, make it a winning situation for Jefferson. They'll go on to play this evening.
Do you think that will have a negative effect? Then again, Burnsville played almost till 2 o'clock in the morning last night.
I think it'll be an even-up situation. They played a game and a half, but they're ready. They're pumped up now. The adrenaline will flow. They'll be all right.
You know, we'll talk about Brock Rendall getting the goal, but Tom Moran won this hockey game as much as anybody did.
I believe so. He made so many good, outstanding saves where he's in the clutch, around the net, the long ones, cut down angles. He was just brilliant.
Well, it was a lot of fun. Jefferson beating Minnetonka 4-3 in 4 overtimes, and the time of the goal was 2:21. So we regrouped here this morning for 2 minutes and 21 seconds. There was a good crowd on hand, and we had some excitement.
And that was what the projections were. It'll be over in 5 minutes, and it certainly was.
Mike Brandt gets the assist on the goal as Brock Rendall shoots Jefferson into the semifinals here of the Minnesota State Hockey Tournament. And there's a lot more excitement today. We haven't really started day 2 yet.
That's right. Well, Jefferson did beat Burnsville once this year, the only team that has, so that sets up a great game for this evening.
The tournament is just going beautifully according to plan. I think whoever set the draw knew exactly how things were going to unravel here. And there's been a great deal of excitement. And as you can see, the Jefferson fans getting ready for a game later on today, as they'll have 2 in one day, and they hope they can put 2 wins together. Now let's go back to hockey control.
All right, Chris and Doug, what a game, 4-3. It finally ends in the 4th overtime, Tom. And in chatting with the coaches before the game this morning, they were saying how even these teams were matched even from small on. They said, like last year in the JVs, they played twice, 2-2, 2-2. They were dead even at that point, 2 ties. And we understand Tony Parker is down on the ice now. Let's go to Tony.
Okay, Ralph, here's the guy that got the winning goal, his second of this historic game. Brock Rendall with Coach Tom Satterdahl. Brock, the first question I'd like to ask is if you've been up all night or did you get some sleep?
Well, I got some sleep. It was a pretty tough game last night after a long, hard fight, but I was a little nervous last night coming in here, but got enough sleep to get her going.
Describe the winning goal. Just what happened?
Well, a nice pass off the boards from either Mark Brand or Pat Beatty. And I just walked in, and our coaches have been telling us all year just shoot low on, especially on this goal, shoot low on the ice, and so I tried to do.
Tom, I'm sure you'd agree that there's a sad side to this, that one team had to lose, but a great game.
No question about that. It really is. Both teams are very evenly matched, because we had some great games during the season, too. Just want to say it really is neat to see Brock get this goal, because that's kind of what our team is made up of this year. We don't have any superstars, but Brock is really one of our real leaders, and on Monday or Tuesday of next week, Brock's got to go in for surgery on his knee, and last night when he blocked that shot, he took it right on his torn ligament, and we didn't know if he was going to be able to play it all today, but Brock has guts and heart, and that's what this team's got.
Did you get some rest, and how about tonight's game? You going to be able to get rest today?
Oh, we'll be ready. I just think we'll be ready because we're going right now, and a little tiredness never hurt anybody. We all got second wins, and we're ready to go.
Okay. Tom, everybody's talking about the fact that Burnsville could have a big advantage. They were able to play their game, get to bed, rest up all day. You guys been working all night. What about it?
Well, it's a mental game. When you come into these tournaments, no one knows the emotion that takes over these kids, and there's no, you can't subtract it. Just no way you can measure it. And we're going to go on emotion, and the kids are going to be ready. I think Tom Osiki said it last night. You can't discount that. Hey, they're going to be just out there playing as hard as they can. It's a mental game, and we're going to be ready mentally and physically and ready to go.
Okay, congratulations to both of you guys. Good luck to you tonight and throughout the tournament.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now let's go back to sports control.
All right, Tony. Oh, what a game. And, like Tony was saying, it really is too bad that any one team has to lose in a game like this. It certainly has to be tough on the Minnetonka Skippers and John Erickson and his crew.
That's right. And the credit, of course, again, a lot of it has to go to Tom Moran, Jefferson goaltender, who stopped 43 shots last night and hung on here as the Jaguars win.
No question.
Well, this is Hockey 85, continuing coverage of the 1985 Jefferson 4-3, our final in quadruple overtime. And Ralph, the Jaguars are on a roll. They've won 8 straight, and that includes a 3-1 win over Burnsville. Let's go back and recap the scoring from last night of this game, the 2-day game. Second period of last night, Jefferson tied things at 2. Kurt Svensson takes the puck off the boards, turns around, fires it towards the Minnetonka net, and as you see, Dale Rail put his leg out, and the puck caromed off of it right into the net.
Similar to the winning goal, actually. Here comes the game winner. Here's the game winner, and boy, I tell you, just zip right through the pads, and like they had said upstairs, any shot on goal is a good shot because you never know when they're going to go in.
Okay, we saw the winning goal first. Now we're going back to last night, and I believe this is Svensson's goal. We'll take another look at it. This is the one that went off Dale Rail, and it tied things at 2. Minnetonka came right back and took a 3-2 lead on Jim Walsh's goal. Walsh, of course, the Lake South scoring leader. He disposes of a rebound.
Jefferson got the equalizer after that point, Tom. Number 7, Pat Beatty, got a goal from out front on a low shot. There he is, number 7. And that was off the skate of goalie Dale Rail. And that was the only goal of the third period, actually. And that tied it at 3. And from there on, we had nothing but save after save by the 2 goaltenders. And then, of course, as we said, number 11, Brock Rendall, got the game winner for Bloomington Jefferson. Brock Rendall, a courageous young man, as we said earlier. He is going to be undergoing knee surgery next week and ends up getting the game winner. Save after save. That was the no goal right there by Minnetonka. Number 24, Dave Taylor, had been in the crease. Let's take another look at the game winner. It was actually a 1-on-3 break after Rendall took the pass along the boards. The shot and the heartbreaking loss for Dale Rail and the Minnetonka Skippers. One more look. So this is actually, I think, a record-setting game in many aspects. This is probably the only fourth overtime game in state tournament history that could have been held, I believe, in Aldrich Arena as far as the fans are concerned, but because not that many really getting up this early in the morning to see it live in person. But those that did saw just a 2-minute and 21-second game here this morning, and Minnetonka losing to Bloomington Jefferson. So Jefferson goes on against Burnsville in the semifinals.
Certainly a very, very disappointing loss for Minnetonka, but also a costly one. We understand that Jim Wilharm, the Minnetonka great defenseman, suffered a shoulder separation in the fourth overtime period, and he, of course, will be lost to Minnetonka for the remainder of the hockey tournament.
Wilharm certainly one of the standouts on the defensive line for the Minnetonka Skippers. Let's take a look now at what has transpired. Anoka has advanced to the semifinals with their 11-5 win over Hastings yesterday. Hill Murray, of course, with that exciting 4-3 overtime win over the Hibbing Blue Jackets. So it'll be Anoka and Hill Murray. That's an afternoon game here today at 2:45 for 2:15 rather in the championship round. And the other two teams advancing are Jefferson and Burnsville. So that will be an evening affair here tonight in championship play. So there you have it. That's the schedule as we see it right now. And again, it was an exciting game. It's just too bad one team had to lose. That was Minnetonka. 4-3 in 4 overtimes for the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars.
We should mention the consolation series, which will start at 12:05 here on Channel 4. Hastings and Hibbing will go at it, and then tonight at 7:05 it will be Minnetonka and Bemidji.
Okay, Tom, so from the St. Paul Civic Center, for Tom Hanneman and our entire crew, Ralph John Fritz saying good morning, thanks for joining us so early, and we'll be back with more Minnesota State High School hockey for you at noon today. So long, everybody.
Hockey 85 has been brought to you by Snapper. Visit Cherokee Hardware for big preseason savings during Snapper's Super Value Days. Northwestern Bell Telephone Company. Twin City Federal. Twin City Federal is smart banking. Dodge, builder of Ram tough trucks and revolutionary cars, and your Viking Land Dodge dealers who say, thank you, America. Royal Crown Beverages, for great taste and cola lovin' fun.